exposure. Oh, God.
What the? Was that a debut of? Good day, ladies and gents. It is Lightning Storm, the Australian icon. Man, do you guys know what that was by any chance?
I don't know. I was trying to post, so I missed it.
Well, I'll tell you. It was the Shockmaster, but instead of it, I'll tell you what a Shockmaster is. This gosh darn episode, if you guys have eyes and ears, you'll see the star-studded cast that we have on the screen right off the freaking presses of SDCC San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Oh my god, I'm so pumped for this episode. We have the Mattel team themselves here, the WWE Mattel team, Steve OZER, Bill MIEKINA, and Magic OLMOS. Oh my god, round of applause for everyone in the studio, please.
Our third man is here, Magic, the third man.
But whose side is he on? Yeah. He's going to give the big leg drop to Nick Storm, and it's going to be, the biggest heel turn, and it's going to be great. No, how the heck are you guys, as I was just saying, we're coming off the presses of SDCC. We were talking a little bit off air. How are you guys feeling after, that whole, I want to say week of preparation, but it feels like months go into it. How the heck are you guys feeling after that?
We made it.
I'll tell you what, Nick, it was a lot for me. I'm just glad it's over with.
I always liken San Diego Comic-Con to it's a break from reality for a week, because it's like there's so much leading up to it, and then when you're there, it's so different from what you usually do for your job, but it's still your job, but it's like completely sort of separate from the actual what you do, but it's so gratifying, just because you get a lot of instant feedback on stuff, and thankfully 99.9% of it's positive, and it's very, I've said this before in other places, there's very few jobs that are not public facing where people can tell you directly that you're good at what you do, and enough people did that. And have done that in the past to me, that it's really, I realize how special that is, and how not everyone gets that. Yeah,
that's a really way to put it. You're making dreams for these people. I mean, if you guys saw on Ringside Collectibles, you guys had a panel for Mattel, the Mattel team, and Zoe Stark was on it, and you guys were able to show off her first Elite in person. I feel like those sort of moments, get, not underappreciated, but, you kind of, if you're in it for so long, you can kind of get blinders to, how it could, maybe affect someone else. If you spent so much time on something, you can get a little desensitized to seeing that reaction in person. Does that ever get old for you guys?
It never gets old for me. I've been here the longest, and it never gets old. And again, like I've said this before, we are a toy brand. We are dealing with actual real people. Superman is never going to have an opinion on his action figures, or G.I. Joe is not going to be, complain about the size of his calves, or, you didn't make his pecs big enough, or he's not flattering enough. But you're dealing with real people. And when they see, a little mini version of themselves for the first time, a lot of times it is kind of overwhelming. And, that's one of the 3 milestones in WWE, getting on WrestleMania, getting in the video game, and getting an action figure. And, we play a pretty big part in making one of those happen, at least.
Yeah. Well, before I can talk, Magic and Steve's ear off as well, you said, making, figures for these people. Bill, I wanna ask, do you still have your custom Elite figure? Because I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember seeing on the interwebs, and I was like, okay, how is this not mass produced? I'd love a referee Bill MIEKINA ASAP. But can you tell me the story behind that a little bit, and talk me through? Because I remember I saw some people from Fox maybe get some custom Elites as well. Talk about having your own figure.
That was a 5-year anniversary surprise gift for me on my 5-year anniversary at Mattel, and
awesome.
My manager at the time, Derek Handy, he had that made for me. And it is pretty cool. I do like it, having, very good, it looks like me. The beard was a little darker then, so I like that's preserved forever on an action figure. So that was pretty cool.
Represent the youth right there, Bill MIEKINA. I want to get into SDCC. But before I do that, Magic, I remember last time that we had you on the channel on Figure Friday, it was batting for another team, dude. So you have, I guess, yeah, the best way to put it, Tom Montalto and Mike Belcaster said it best on Fig Guys. Hell froze over, right? Tell me about, coming back to the Mattel line. I believe you're working on basics, now main events. I believe before your departure. What's been the sort of things that have changed about Mattel, and what are some of the things that have like come as muscle memory, maybe stayed the same that you enjoy?
I was really surprised that Mattel has not changed very much. Like walking into the office for the first time in 6 years, I was really surprised by it. Like it kind of looks pretty similar. Like all the stuff was like in the same place. Everybody was still kind of sitting relatively. And it felt like I was the only one that must have left because everybody was still there that I had left. They were working there and here they are still. But yeah, I guess like the process is like a little different. I just got to get used to it. I have like a whole different mentality when it comes to this stuff. Like what I was used to before that I'm trying to forget and trying to just get acclimated with the new system. But it's wrestling. It's like everyone's been everywhere. I've been doing a lot of figures that made it over to WWE. So it's like I'm really familiar with everything. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to get started, really.
And we managed to get him only 1 cube over from his old cube.
Yeah.
So he's still pretty much in the same spot.
Yeah.
No way. It's like your little like neighbors, your old self. Oh, hello, little cube. That's awesome. Love to hear that. I'd love to pick you guys' brains about some of these reveals as well. But I do find that very, very interesting, Magic. You're working with, when it comes to wrestling, with contracts and stuff like that. They come up and if people, go elsewhere for whatever satisfied creative needs or whatever the case may be. And, I feel like it's great because there's some people that you've worked on at the other team that I feel like you're going to be even working on in the future now as well, which I feel like is even crazy, off the top of my head. We saw photos of Ethan Page, Jade Cargill as well, that we'll get into as well a little bit. So I feel like that's really cool. What's your take on that?
Oh, it's really cool. I feel like I'm kind of like the Cody Rhodes. That's like a founding member over there. Then I'm here. Hopefully win the championship one day too. It's the dream. But no, it's really
your
cool.
kingdom, dude.
Yeah. It's cool to like there's potential people coming that I've done the first figures for them too. It's like it'd be awesome to do them again. It's like different company. It'd be really interesting. So yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff.
Well, hell yeah. Well, I mean, with that being said, dude, I don't know if you guys have checked your wrist at all, but I think it's a little bit of clobbering time. Because holy hell, dude. So Steve, last time I had you on, I remember being like, okay, I mean, Ultimate Edition CM Punk Money in the Bank's gotta happen, right? I feel like it's in the process of happening. Talk my ear off about this release, finally getting it out there as well. It's on Ringside Collectibles right now, I believe, for pre-order. Use code ICON, save yourself 10%. But yeah, talk my ear off about getting this finally out there, and this is such an iconic look for Punk. And I remember even on the panel for the Elite Squad, Punk was like, I'm surprised you guys never did this. You guys did do this in an Elite line, but not to this magnitude, I'd say. So finally getting it out to this representation. Talk my ear off about this.
I did kayfabe you, right, when you asked about it last time? Okay,
you are good at that. You are good.
I'm covering myself because Bill's here now. I don't want to get in trouble. But when we got word that we could do Punk again, we knew that this would be the most requested look to do as an Ultimate. And boy, those requests flooded in immediately when he showed up at Survivor Series, and we wanted to slot this into a spot that was really meaningful, and with a partner like Ringside who could just like blow this out of the water and make sure everybody who wanted it could get it. And Ringside's doing a fantastic job with pre-orders on this figure, and everyone seems excited. And Bill's work, I mean, man, look at the head sculpt and the blowing the kiss hand here on the left hand side. All three new heads look fantastic. Huge upgrade over the old heads, which were already great to start with.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I remember designing a similar figure back in the day and being really happy with it. And then just when you look back on, it's almost been a decade now, just with the not only the increases in my skill set, but in also like the technology available with the DIJ and the articulation upgrades. It's like, this puts it to shame. And it's like, that was something I was proud of before. Now I look back and it's like, oh man, You know,
That's fun. That's really.
why was I
funny,
so
like,
self-satisfied? Like when when something like this was in the future.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we had Magic doing great work on CM Punk figures also, so we had to up it.
Yeah, that is.
This
I mean,
is
honestly,
true.
that is true. It's like when he got the chance to get an earlier crack at CM Punk and put out some phenomenal figures. It's like, ooh, man.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Yeah, do you guys ever like think about that when it comes to like other companies making wrestling figures or something like that? Is that something that you guys implement into making a project?
Let me chime in first and toss to you, Bill. I think, all of us are collectors, and we, not just wrestling figures specifically, but we collect everything and pay attention to what everybody's doing. And I think all of us as an industry lift each other up and make each other better, right? With innovation and ideas that we're all doing. And then our close buddy Magic, of course, working on some great stuff over the last few years. It's all very inspiring, and I think it just helps the evolution process and making product better and better. Bill?
Yeah, I mean, in particular, I was seeing what Magic was doing, and I was like, God, that's like, if I'm not going to get a crack at doing these, like, I'm glad that he's doing them because they're coming out phenomenal, and I'm buying these, and I'm happily buying them. And I would be buying if I wasn't working on them, I would be buying them just as a fan. Yeah. So does that answer the question well? Or?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. I remember. Yeah, I mean, when Magic you had a hand in that. I remember it was like the first CM Punk with pinless elbows and butterfly joints. I was like, this is something like crazy. And now I feel like it's gonna be something of a norm. I feel like we're gonna be seeing Ultimate Edition CM Punks, maybe from his later run now as well, Sproston and all that stuff. So I'm very, very excited to look forward to. I mean, CM Punk's one of my guys all time. So yeah, any final thoughts on this and creating this at all?
I'm excited. I think it's a dream figure. I hope everybody's happy with it. Bill, outstanding work. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks fantastic.
I will do a little Dumbledore clap for that, if you guys. Yeah. Thank you. That's a reference right there. I want to move it to this is also the pre-order thing, and you can just see how uncanny the head sculpt is with the original photo next to it, which is incredible. But freaking with this being said,
use code ICON.
I had to get that in there, dude. Okay, we have a budget on this show. We have a quota to meet. No, I want to move on to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive for this year, and it was the boyhood dream coming true. It was HBK, Shawn Michaels. Now I want to shout out to Matt Goldberg at MBG1211 for these photos because I just thought he did a phenomenal job. And Steve Sleeve, look at that right there. I mean,
Steve Sleeve.
What's in Steve's sleeve? There it is. It's Shawn Michaels right here. I mean, this packaging job is amazing. Shout out to the packaging team as well. This zipline as well. I want to say how this looks innovative in my opinion for a wrestling figure, and this packaging is still, I think, one of my favorite Ultimate Edition packagings that we've seen yet. But I want to also talk your guys' ear off about this zipline, and we've heard that the zipline actually works. Break it down. What does that mean when you guys say the zipline works? What do you guys? How could we set this up if we wanted to at home?
You would supply your own string, but it's designed to work on any sort of string that you set up. So there's various ways how you want to set it up when you're posing it. Whether it's against like just a regular plain background or whether it's something a more involved. Backdrop as seen in the image there.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, I think Tom Montalto, shout out Fit Guys again. They're getting all the rub on this episode, but him saying he's going to line it through from one wall of his basement to the next, and I think that's really, really funny. Bill, did you have a hand in designing this zip line, and did you seek out any experts of zip lines to make this? How did you make it so accurate? I want to know.
WWE. A lot of times the answer is going to be WWE. They provide phenomenal reference photography that we work with. And in this case, they gave me a lot of shots of still photos from the event of him, holding the zip line just to make sure that you get like the shape of the apparatus at the top and the size of, I don't know if it would be called the support hook that he's hanging off of. Like everything is sculpted true to what is seen on the video, including the deco on the word is escaping me now because I'm getting old.
The actual like zipline case.
Yeah, the trolley. I guess.
There you go.
Right, yeah.
There you go.
That sounds like a word, definitely. Like, yeah, like even the paint on it is quite cool. Like, you know, like there's paint apps on a zip line. I mean, I think that's really, really cool. So
And
this is amazing stuff.
Something else that was cool, a little behind the scenes story is, I don't know if you watched Mattel Creations Revealed back in March, but they showed a video of me and Bill visiting the WWE archives in Connecticut, and this segment got cut from it, but we did get to see this actual gear. You know, they opened up this big white box and it was wrapped in tissue paper, and it was just like unbelievable. Bill had already started his work on it, but it was really just like, you know, reconfirming like that he was nailing it already. So that was a pretty cool moment to get to see that gear in real life as part of our trip there and a little bit of research.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Stuff there.
Yeah, what were some highlights for you guys? And was there anything when you guys visited that kind of workshop, that factory? Like, was there anything, that warehouse, I should say, that when you guys see it in person for the first time, that kind of sparks an idea for, oh, we haven't done this idea. Let's do this gear maybe.
I mean, there was tons of gear. There were props like cages, sets. I mean, you name it, it was there. But I think beyond that stuff that we do see on content day in and day out, they have lots of merchandise and magazines and photos and toys, you know, LJNs that are like behind me. Like I saw a whole shelf of minty mint LJNs on card. And Bill had a favorite room in the whole place, which was what, Bill?
Yeah, they had a room that had all sorts of old magazines, and I'm a sucker for old magazines. I think they had a complete run of like the Japanese pro wrestling weeklies. I don't know if they want.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm a nerd, so yeah, I knew that. I know those instantly.
Like they had issue 1, which is like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I actually held like the first.
That's crazy. That's insane. I'm jealous. I'm envious.
So,
of course.
So when Bill disappears one day, we know where he's off to.
Yeah.
This is so true. This is accurate. I also, with this gear as well, I think, you know, this is not like a new sort of tights that we've seen of Shawn Michaels in this attire. I want to know, what was the motive for getting this out and trying to recapture this moment in this sort of magnitude, and why now?
I mean, WrestleMania 40 just hit, right? So we were brainstorming, how do we celebrate 40 years of WrestleMania, you know, with multiple items and figures. And Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. So, you know, Bill and I just, you know, we had a lot of HBK centric ideas, and it just whittled away to this one. If you have any other insights on why we chose this one.
Yeah, I mean, this one just, it seemed like the natural one to do just because it was his first title win. The outfit is very memorable. And also with the Ultimates, you have the ability to do something like the post-match celebration head, which is, you would never, you would never have that on its own as a main head on a figure, but it's something that when you're, you know, selling an Ultimate, you know, the totality of what you can include there, it really, you know, when you're recreating the match, then you can accurately create the moment at the end when he's, you know, the boyhood dreaming come true, and he's, you know, celebrating at the end with the belt, the title belt, I guess. It made a lot of sense. Like it all sort of, yeah, of course we're going to do that. Of course we're going to do that. And then, it became the Comic-Con item.
That's what I wanted to say too, Bill. Like the storytelling in that package is really great. Like you get obviously the iconic entrance and him like celebrating and like that really like iconic face of him yelling. But then with that like title win and like the sad, and like you got a lot of emotion out of that figure. So there's so much you can do with it. It's really great.
Thank you.
Wow. So yeah, so that actually like kind of makes me think, is that something that you guys look for as designers when it comes to like storytelling in a figure release? Like Magic, you just said, like this HBK.
With the Ultimates, yeah, we try to have one head. It doesn't always work out, but we try to have one head that is sort of something that can only be included in that SKU that sort of tells a story of you know, either a specific moment in the match, like when Roman Reigns, when he throws his head back and does a hoo-ah. You know, it happens in every match. It's always a highlight of the match. So in the terms of like when you tell the story with the figure, most of the time it's going to be a standard head, but to really capture that one exaggerated moment, whether it's, you know, the scream or an excited yell or overcome with emotion after winning, like I do try to keep that, you know, in mind when we're planning out like what are the heads we're going to include on Ultimates.
Oh yeah, that's great to me. Moving on, I mean, this is like another thing. This is storytelling and packaging, in my opinion, because this is the debut. Not debut. What am I saying? The debut of CM Punk. The return after 10 long years, I believe, out of the WWE. The return at Survivor Series. So, when do you guys start working on this? You know, this happens. Survivor Series happens. When is the first text going? Okay, let's work on this right now.
Probably the minute after he comes out. So I know that it's like, okay, when his music played and like he actually appeared on camera, I'm like, I know it's gonna be on my Instagram feed tonight. Like I know what everyone's gonna be asking for, and it's like, well, of course. So yeah, so like, okay, well, where do we put this?
So
this is a big deal.
Yeah, we officially found out the very next day that we were cleared for figures, and we immediately got to work. But Bill and I were texting right away when that happened. But yeah, great packaging. You know, in addition to the amazing figure by Bill with 2 shirts, packaging by George Martinez and Lawrence has a long last name, so I won't try to pronounce it here. But But yeah, this was made to order on Mattel Creations, and WWE Shop Fanatics went ahead and preemptively ordered some units during that made to order window. So there's going to be another second chance sale sometime early next year. So you'll be able to get some of these figures via WWE Shop and Fanatics if you missed out. But it's really great. It's got brand new legs, I believe, Bill, in addition to the new head, right?
Yes.
Sneakers with the new ankle articulation, the watch, so you know that it's clobbering time, and then that other merch shirt, which is I don't remember.
That's the one he wore the on the Raw right after.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Right. Yeah. The one, the kind of black with the like plain logo on it. I mean, I like that. You guys included that edition as well. Was there a sort of thought behind that? Did you guys just wanted to give more juice to this sort of project? Yeah. Yeah.
And well, you know,
All right.
look.
Yeah.
I was gonna let you talk to it since it's
Oh, okay.
designed, but like
Yeah,
plain white
I mean,
shirt, right? Plain white shirt.
It's great, but like from a visual standpoint, a plain white T-shirt is not. It works really well when it's posed in the box, but if it's posed separately in a different environment, it might not be as interesting. And so it's like, yeah, why not? He wore the Chicago flag, flag I'm intimately familiar with, being from, suburban Chicago as well. It's a kind of an iconic flag when you live there, and it has a lot of meaning. So, anytime I can sneak that in a figure.
Can I say something? Well, the first time I got to Chicago, I didn't realize that was Chicago's flag. I thought it was CM Punk's logo. So when I got there, I think it was just, I was like, man.
And you just saw the flag like flying all over.
No hair, like that flag's everywhere. I'm like, they
Yeah,
just really love CM Punk here.
So
Like,
I just looked at my history book here, and it was not the Chicago flag until CM Punk popularized it.
really?
Is that true?
No,
Oh, dude.
of course not.
Steve, come on.
Of course not.
I don't know why you had me in the first half. I don't know why.
You
Oh,
youngsters. You youngsters.
I know. Us youngsters, man, we're too naive. But I want to talk about this. We got a lot of questions and comments in the chat. I want to give a quick shout out to every person who's in here, typing away, just even watching away. Shout out to you guys. There's so much to get into with SDCC, but there's a lot to get in with these comments later as well. But I want to talk about this 3-pack. I believe it's the the Samoan Dynasty 3-pack. If I'm correct in saying, this is a fantastic moment. I believe, when, in my opinion, one of the crowning moments maybe of Roman becoming the tribal chief. Do you talk my ear off about doing another 3-pack like this? Last 3-pack, you guys, that's coming to mind for me is the Maivia Legacy 3-pack. Was it, sort of the same sort of family as this one as well? How did this one come to be?
Similar thought process, like a family, a 3-pack of a family. And then of course, this was a moment that sort of, in its way, kind of set the stage for what WWE is today. Like the crowning of Roman as the tribal chief back in late 2020 was a pretty pivotal moment leading up, for the last 4 years of, WWE being just really, really, really good. And it started here. So you have Roman and Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans, in the gear that they wore at the end of the Hell in a Cell. And then we have alternate younger heads. So when you remove the soft goods outfits that they wore, they have wrestling gear underneath. So you can have two versions of the Afa and Sika.
Yeah, and really sad we heard about Afa passing away today. So R.I.P. Afa. But awesome that we can commemorate both Afa and Sika, who also recently passed away with this great set. In one of the most historically significant moments of recent WWE history.
I might not. I don't think I was aware of hearing of Afa. So that's news to me. This sort of having this like immortalized, I should say, literally like a pack like this immortalized feels so much more special now. You're not saying it's special because of whatever happened, but it just feels special. I guess the meaning behind this pack, this is like a passing of the torch, especially if you were watching that. I believe it was a Hell in a Cell, right? So I mean, like with the Ulafalas. So I mean, this is just such a nice looking set. And yeah, I can't put this over enough. I love when you guys can do like cloth shirts with floral designs. I mean, I love that. I think I've said this before on the show, but I throw those on literally every figure probably ever. Every Nick Storm has the probably the best outfits. I'm saying right now, my Nick Storm figure has the best outfits, man. It's got like a Bray Wyatt Hawaiian shirt, Razor Remote. Hey, look, okay, I'm gonna stop putting myself over, pal. But I want to put over you guys doing another 3-pack because I've got actually an idea for a 3-pack. I want to broach to you guys. If you guys are down. Oh, okay. Shoot, pal. I've got an idea, guys. How about a Rhodes Dynasty 3-pack?
Would love it.
You get Dusty Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and Pharaoh. Of course. I mean, you got to get Pharaoh, right?
Yeah. Love it. Pharaoh needs a figure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the hashtag. Pharaoh needs a figure. Hashtag movement coming your way.
Hashtag we want Pharaoh. There's going to be like, hashtag we want Pharaoh sections. All right. Well, at least you guys are hearing me out, and that's all I need, so I can move on. Now, Bill, before we started here, I was talking to your ear for a little bit, and I said, you're so cheeky, and I love this about you because... Dude, this is fantastic. I cannot put this over enough. I'm such a Great Muta fan, like Mark, whatever the case is. We're getting the earlier WCW Great Muta. Shout out to Gary Hart. We're getting the earlier WCW Great Muta, and I had no idea that this one on the left was coming, and it pairs perfectly with the most recent Elite Shinsuke Nakamura Chase figure. I mean, was this like a little plan sort of thing? Was this? How planned out? I guess was this for you, Bill?
I don't know exactly because I didn't know. Like when I saw, like, I actually saw this match live in Tokyo at the beginning of 2023, and like it was literally one of the coolest nights of my life, for a bunch of reasons. But like, and I knew I had the rights to do Nakamura, so I'm like, next time we do Nakamura, I'm gonna try to see if I can somehow get that outfit into the line. I really hope he wears it on WWE TV one day, and he did. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna sneak that into the line. I think it's a Chase version of the standard black and white version. And then when they signed Muta, I put, I was like, can I do this? And everything got approved. So yeah, it was just finding where to put it in the lineup, and having it in the Legends line seemed to make the most sense. It's a nice tie-in to him being an official WWE Hall of Famer. So, yeah, well, I mean, what better way to celebrate the great career of the Great Muta than to celebrate the fact that his last match as a singles wrestler as the Great Muta was against, Shinsuke Nakamura.
This is true, yeah. I want to ask, like, do you guys think, like, if, let's say hypothetically, if Great Muta signed 3-4 years ago, do you think this would have been, like, a possibility then, just with, like, the different regime in place and stuff like that? Would that have been a possibility?
It's hard to say. It's because I don't know.
Just Muta signing or doing this version of Muta?
Doing this version of Muta, maybe, I'd say.
I don't know. Yeah, tough to say. I mean, I will say that our partners are great over there at WWE, and they're really open to our requests. Obviously, not all of them come to fruition, or sometimes they take a little bit longer to come to fruition. But Muta's been on our list for years, and it happened. So maybe we were a little part of that, whittling away. That some of their partners wanted him in the mix. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I don't think there were any issues with the former leader of that company with Muta that I know of, and there's been other Japanese or international talent inducted into the Hall of Fame. So who knows? We got him now. That's all that matters. The figure's amazing. The figures of Muta are amazing. And we got to work. We got to work right away.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Sorry,
this was one when they found out that Muta was on the cards. It's like, well, I always said I'd start that day, so I better not be a liar. Start right away.
Yeah. I always thought, like, to get, like, a modern mask Muta out of because I didn't know this would have been possible or something like that. I was like, all right, we're getting that Ultimate Edition, WCW Muta. Maybe if they made, like, a Hall of Fame attire Muta with it, like, just, like, kind of half-arse it, put him in a suit, and just, like, a, updated Muta mask. I was like, oh, yeah, then we can get it. And then we see this reveal, and it completely blows that out of the water. I didn't even need to worry about that. And I love that to bits.
And I think it helps that Muta himself, Keiji Muta, just owns the character outright, right?
Oh, right.
Versus something that was created in another company that they own. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. So, hey, shout out to Keiji Muta as well. Because, freaking legend of the business. But, we talked about different attires as well, and we saw this grayscale of the Great Muta in hand with the cloth goods and the kind of head garb that he's coming with as well. But you mentioned that we're seeing a chase, and that wasn't something that was initially on the horizons for us fans. For me, I didn't know that was going to be a possibility. Was this a no-brainer for you guys making this a Great Muta, like a chase from this time? These are, I think, two of the most iconic looks for me.
Yeah, I think this might have maybe inadvertently have happened because there was. I think I wanted to go with the red, and Steve wanted to go with the white face paint, and so we were just like, let's just do one as a chase.
Wow, I love that. That's how you kill two birds with one stone, literally.
Yeah.
Look, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah. What do you guys take? Okay, so I want to say right here with these renders being said, Bill, you liking the red more, Steve, you liking the white more. Which do you guys think? I want to get you and Steve, Bill and Steve, to answer this, and maybe Magic as well, because why not? What do you guys think turned out the best in your opinion from this render, and which kind of looks more eye catching if you were to imagine it on a shelf?
It's hard. They're both great, right? Like I look at them both, and
I'm trying to see if you guys go against
just,
your.
No, if I were a collector, I would absolutely buy both. I will say that if I only had space on I would own both. But if I owned space for one, I would do the black and white. But I mean, that's just by hair. They're both just like 10 out of 10 figures.
Yeah. How about you, Bill? Do you think the red tops it still?
Yeah, just because to me that's like the closest to like when he was at his peak in '89 in the NWA, the WCW, right, which it turned into. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I could see why someone would vote for the white over the white and black over the red. Like it's not like, again, it's like 10 and 10A.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. How about you, Magic? What are your thoughts? Are you a big Muta head as well? I don't know if I've ever talked about Muta with you.
Not a super big Muta head. I think I just missed him.
Did we see him, Magic? Were we at the PCW show together?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and he showed up at a different company, and I saw him a few times there. I didn't want to be the tiebreaker on this, so I'm just gonna say they're both really great, and I really like them both.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm gonna be the tiebreaker. Yeah, I'm buying them both, Magic. I'm with you on this one, dude. I'm gonna be. I mean, look, I'm such a greedy guts. Look, one of the 7 deadly sins is buying both of these great Muta figures. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's out there. Yeah, these look fantastic to me. And you guys mentioned, there was talks of, I guess, maybe 5 minutes ago when we were just talking about it, but attires popping up from different areas and whatnot. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but WWE has now a Vault channel on their YouTube. So they now have a WWE Vault YouTube channel, and this has come out of the woodworks. And I want to know, what's the possibility of getting a CM Punk in white, I guess, basketball shorts?
I don't think there's a challenge to do it.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, I like the sounds of this.
I've personally gotten some pretty deep cuts before on some stuff that
Bill,
it appeared once on WWE programming. Technically, it counts. So,
if I'm not mistaken, Bill, you said this was a squash match between Road Warriors.
It was the Road Warriors.
Yeah, I think it was the Road Warriors and CM Punk and his partner, and the Road Warriors won.
I think it was in Baltimore, Maryland. I think I was there for that show. They had wrestled the night before, Kane and Rob Van Dam on Raw. And then the next night they had one more match in Baltimore. It was kind of their last hurrah. And then Hawk unfortunately didn't live much longer after that, but pretty amazing that CM Punk is all a part of their lore. And that's kind of his beginnings in WWE. He also appeared more than that. I thought he appeared on Sunday Night Heat as well, perhaps.
He wrestled.
I seem to remember there was at least a few, like before he was a contracted talent, that he made a few cameo appearances, on the Saturday and Sunday night.
He enhanced some other talent.
That's one way to put it.
Damn right. Yeah, he put him over, pal.
I had a question, Bill. Have you made a lot of figures of squash matches before? Is that something that's happened?
James Ellsworth.
Yeah, I mean, but he sort of parlayed that into a pretty actual role on TV. So
yeah, I was gonna say Brian Myers as well, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, there you go. Jacob, the wrestling fan, remembers. He wrestled against Maven and Simon Dean on Heat.
Oh wow.
With some
Maven
other guy.
Simon Dean.
I remember Maven talked about that on YouTube. Maven was talking about that. He said he was the first person to take his finish or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, I remember. I saw that video. So yeah, have you guys? Is there a possibility? I want to know just straight off the bat because I like Maven. Are there possibilities of Maven figures coming out at all?
If they sign him, I don't see why we wouldn't do him.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
anybody
depends on who WWE has under a Legends deal.
This is true.
So if they're under a Legends deal, it's fair game, and if it makes sense,
I think during my time with Bill, there's only been maybe 2 or 3 people that we haven't been able to do or haven't done for one reason or another. And those were just extreme cases, or that there was just one unfortunately for us cursed talent that I tried to keep making happen and it wasn't working out. But yeah, I mean, they signed those deals to make product. Right. So, they want them in the video game. They want at least one, if not more, action figures. So, if they sign Maven, he goes somewhere, maybe Royal Rumble for that Undertaker elimination.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, I think if there is a place to go for Maven, I think that's it.
And for his low deco, so we can afford the Build-A-Figure parts.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be great, right? Yeah, there's what did he have, the trunks at that point, right? Or was it the did he have the trousers?
Still in the black.
Okay.
The black biker shorts.
Dude, boom. There you go.
There
you go.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty low deco, so
in the top picks immediately.
that would help his
No, I'm
cause.
joking. Yeah. I was talking about CM Punk just a second ago. And I want to get your thoughts on the response to releasing this, guys. So the WWE Vault line, I believe it is it Wave 2 or something like that. We're seeing a CM Punk from the SES Ringside exclusive, that dropped over a decade ago now, I'd say. In the middle is the original, and on both sides you can see the new, improved with true effects, pinless, elbows, double jointed as well, removable hands, all the likes. Talk to me about what do you guys what's your overall take on the response of getting this out there? Maybe making some collectors a little salty, but maybe making some new collectors a lot happy too.
I mean, they sold out of their initial quota on Ringside, so I would say that's a unbelievable success in a day. Something crazy like they
Right.
blew out of those units immediately. So I think we made the right call. There was a hunger for this version of Punk, and I don't think that, in my view, you should be gatekeeping and not having like a popular version of something locked away forever. And that old version is still unique. The packaging was amazing, and it holds out on its own in its original form. And now for those who just want this as part of their collection, they can get this upgraded version with double jointed elbows. Kind of the blessing of how we do these re-releases is, anything from the past, it's still that beautiful classic, larger packaging. So that's never going to change. But yeah, now people have a chance to own another iconic version of Punk.
Yeah, I agree.
How about yourself, Bill? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, was how much retooling, or when you revisit a figure like this, are you looking at it with, okay, what can I change here? What can I change here? Or are you just sort of like, oh, okay, we are doing the double jointed elbows, we are giving it the upgrades, but are you looking at it with like under a magnifying glass when it comes to this one is such a beloved release, I feel like, from back in the day?
This one, this one was mostly the changes needed were the upgrades with the DIJ and the pinless arms. I thought at the time, the original one was pretty nice at the time. And so, and again, it was something where limited release, and obviously, anything Punk was a no-go for a long time. So when it became time, when he was available again, it's like when we had the Ringside from the Vault segment, this one just seemed like, well, this one has to go in, like, because there's so much demand for this, because a lot of people, if you weren't a collector, over 13 years ago, maybe when this was released for the first time, like there was no shot at it, unless you were, the secondary prices on this were kind of high, I believe, pretty high. So, and again, we don't want to gatekeep on stuff. So we want to make sure that, everyone gets a fair shot at, what we work on.
I'm seeing Mo the Fig God asking, are there any figures safe from being re-released? I mean, for one, anyone not with the company under contract, right? So if there's anyone modern or legend space who is just not available to us, they're pretty safe from re-release. I don't know. It just goes back to, like, if I have the original, Action Comics with Superman's debut, like, okay, they reprint that a million times over so you can enjoy the story and the history, but it's not taking away from that original release and its value, its rarity, and its importance. So hopefully some people can start to think about action figures the same way, because you're seeing this across every line. Marvel Legends, Star Wars, the Black Series, Star Wars Vintage Collection, you name it. You're not going to never release Darth Vader ever again, because, hey, we released that in the 70s. Like, we don't need to do that again. Let's keep that value up.
Yeah. I just read the Marvel Omnibus. I just read the Hulk Omnibus where he fights Wolverine in that cover with the claws.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, and it's it's as a single issue, it's great. It's a great Hulk versus Wolverine fight. And to think like if I like there are, if I just wanted to, if the only access I had to it was the original issue, I have to pay like an obscene amount of money for that, as opposed to getting it in a trade paperback form. So I look at our figures like that, where, I mean, if you really are a stickler, like you can get the originals and, that's, this is the first time, but in terms of us, looks on characters, like we want to make sure that people have access to stuff.
Yeah. And, you guys said there's people that are collecting that weren't 10 years ago, 13 years ago, however long this, figure came out, right?
Yeah.
So
there's some collectors that weren't even born, when that came
Yeah,
out. And that's not
exactly.
kind of not fair to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of like new WWE fans, a lot of new wrestling fans in the past like 5 years. I feel like it's just been, the business has been booming in such a way again. I feel like, and it's producing a lot more new fans and probably a lot more new like figure fans. So I agree with that sentiment. And I've always said, I'm a big record collector. I like vinyls, so I always think like the original pressings of vinyls and records and stuff like that, they're more sought after. Those are the first editions, like you were talking about, Steve. Those are the first editions of something. So, I feel like those are going to be still sought after. I mean, if you see a mint in box SES Punk from, ringside exclusive from way back in the day, I mean, I feel like that's like, you can put that in the WWE warehouse. We were talking about that just before. So yeah, you can put that in the warehouse.
You see that's like take your breath away, right? When you spot that somewhere and someone's foolishly selling it for $50, right? And you're like, oh my God, right? And you grab it. That should never change. Like that original nostalgia for it. The packaging alone, the classic way that we did deco on the faces, like all that stuff just adds to how special the original releases were.
Me as a collector, I would personally hope that people are really hyped by this type of thing, because I know for me, when I see something that was out of print or like so long ago that I missed that's being brought back, I get so excited. Like I'm hyped, like I'm saving so much money, I don't got to buy this thing, and I thought I was never gonna get it. I'd only seen it on the internet, and like now I can finally own it. Like there's nothing better than that. So I'd hope people are really hyped about it, not too upset.
I can kind of attribute that to the CM Punk ringer tee. That the WWE shop re-released again. Shout out to them, because freaking doing that, making my boyhood dream coming true. I don't know if you guys knew that. So yeah, no. But I want to talk as well about, dude, this was so quick getting these out and seeing grayscale renders of these. How fast did you guys start working on Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu? Because this is already, from the renders, these look like super detailed, and I'm liking some of the part choices as well. Talk my ear off about these.
We had a little bit more lead time on Tama Tonga because he obviously debuted first, and the Jacob Fatu sculpt was literally done the minute he showed up. I'm like, okay, I'm getting to work on this. I put him on the request list for WWE like that night, because me and Magic and Steve, we've seen him at the PC. He would wrestle at a league around here called PCW Ultra a lot, and he was always the highlight of the show. I mean, he's awesome. Yeah. And to see him, I was always wondering, it's like, when am I going to, work on his figure? Because obviously he's going to be in WWE at some point. And it just turns out like the time is now. So when he was, he debuted on SmackDown, it's like, okay, like with Muta, it's like, we got to work on this now, because I can't be the only one that really, really wants this figure.
Yeah, is there like a scheduled release for these two figures, for these two elites in the pipeline so far?
These are a little bit further out. Obviously, they're gray model renders. And hot off the presses, literally, Bill sent me that image, went in the deck, and I drove down to Comic-Con. So, we just wanted to show you guys like that we were on it, and we wanted to capitalize on that excitement that these guys are going to bring to the line. So they're a little ways out, maybe late spring next year, early summer, something like that, via Ringside. But yeah, don't expect them under your trees for Christmas.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Because you were bad, you're gonna get Cole. That's why.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Michael Cole, build a figure. Shout out. Hey, also, yeah, okay, let's swing it to there. Michael Cole. I mean, so we've seen more like a build a figures. I guess the new SummerSlam wave. We saw John Cone referee build a figure. Is there like sort of a new? I don't know. I feel like there's a new crave with fans for getting those sort of backstage personnel and more commentators and stuff like that. Have you guys thought about releasing them in main lines even, or just sticking to the Build-A-Figure thing? Can we see a new Michael Cole coming out? You know, what are the possibilities of some of these things?
Bill and I talk about it often. Magic will also talk about it often with us.
You'll get sucked in.
Not all those personalities are available to us, unfortunately. Like John Cone as a referee was years in the making, literally. And you know, getting Nicholas along with it was a great bonus. But Teddy Long, we kind of like danced around some of the former rules, right, of no referees by doing the same thing with Danny Davis, right? They had personas outside of being referees, and we were able to do them as refs. But a lot of that's been lifted, but it doesn't mean we have access to everybody. If we do have access to them, once again, you know, that means WWE wants merchandise because there's some sort of deal in place that they signed, and we're going to make them. So if we can make them, we're going to find a home for them somewhere in the line, whether it's Build-A-Figure or elsewhere.
Right. I'm seeing a question in the comments here right now from Mo the Fig God that's completely grabbed my attention. We were talking about, I think, from the Vault or re-release lines as well. Slim Jim Macho Man, if you guys do get signed again, I want to ask, like, when it comes to Comic-Con exclusives and those sort of more big-timey exclusives, are those sort of more going to be, you know, missed in those re-release lines? I'd say, like, those are going to be, like, you know, the initial releases of, like, the original pressings, right? If that makes any sense.
I wouldn't re-release them.
Yeah, I wouldn't re-release. Like, if we were going to do something, like, let's just say, hypothetically, we release the Macho Man figure, it could be in a completely different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, you know, he had other Slim Jim outfits. You know, that was an elite figure. Like, you know, Slim Jim Macho Man is viable if all the stars align and you can do something like that again. But that original is going to stay as is, and we're not just going to do a double jointed elbow upgrade and call it a day and re-release something like that. Those exclusives, specifically starting with Slim Jim Macho Man, because before that they were kind of like sort of Comic-Con exclusive, sort of not. You know, and that Undertaker, I think year one was already re-released. You know, I would say, you know, maybe Shockmaster, Isaac Yankem, Virgil, you know, those guys could be fair game. But anything where we really honed in on what a Comic-Con exclusive was, and it was a true Comic-Con exclusive, you won't see some sort of simple upgrade from the Vault or greatest hit style re-release of those.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. You know, I'm scouring the comments right now. There's more reveals to get into, but like so many comments to get into, dude. I'm overwhelmed. But we've got some more reveals, so let's talk about the toys. How about that? I am starring these comments, so shout out to you guys again for freaking talking my ears off in the comments. But I want to talk about your guys' ears off about this. Oh my god, maybe you can talk my ears off about this. A cheeky little bit of Golga action. Is this going to be a Build-A-Figure, I believe? This is This is incredible, this Golga. Talk to me. Whose idea was to get this out?
It was mine. It was my idea. I was working with Magic now is the new official Monday Night War Elite and Ultimate designer. Very exciting times ahead there. But I was working with a previous designer, and you know, we came up with a little bit of a plan to make some of these new parts to be shared with the NWO Dusty. Obviously, Golga has new legs and the new head here. But yeah, you know, looking for ways to get some of those tertiary talent out from the Monday Night War era, and Build-A-Figure is perfect for that. I mean, extremely memorable gimmick, great theme song at the time. It was really fun. And you know, I'm just super stoked that Golga's in the line, and I have my fingers and toes crossed that they sign Luna one day so we can get her to go alongside Golga.
Oh my god, dude! If we could get a Luna Vachon, I would go crazy. I'd probably be rabid. I'd be a little bit rabid. How about that? But yeah, this figure is great. Any more talks on this? Bill designing this, you know, having a hand in this, maybe.
Bill helps with the lumpy
I
head.
had limited involvement in this one because it was
Right.
another designer's work, but it was something where I always wanted to get a Golga in the line, but I could never figure out like where would that fit. And so, you know, the fact that we were able to execute it as a Build-A-Figure, Steve figured out that plan, which is awesome. And then the execution of it is it's so fun. It's just it's like the perfect Build-A-Figure for where if there's a figure you're on the fence on in the line, it's like I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence. It's like, well, yeah, I get to build Golga if I buy all of them.
That's so
Bill,
true.
Bill was our Golga head lump official inspector for accuracy there. So
Oh yeah.
Golga has the accurate head lumps, which always change from match to match, but they're accurate to a match.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
does have-
the how his like hair, you know, bunches. What is it? You know, bunches up. Bunches up. I can't speak.
No, it was
Bunches up
he
underneath the
had
mask.
something going on there, and he would rub it to
yeah.
soothe
In
it.
kayfabe, he had growths on the side of his head that had to be hidden by the mask. It was too grotesque to be seen in public, so I had to wear that mask.
Of
So we had to
course,
make sure
yeah.
that the lumps were represented on the head when we sculpted the masked head.
And then you know he unmasks, and then it's hey you guys, and it's just Sloth from the Goonies. Guys, this is not coming with a Sloth from the Goonies interchangeable head. I just want to put that out there. As much as
No.
I'd like that,
But you
Gosh,
could
we-
swap an earthquake head onto it, since it is John Tenta, to recreate
This is true.
backstage Golga.
You just broke
Yeah,
the illusion, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Steve,
Had
what the
everyone
heck?
believing.
Wait, he doesn't have lumps on his head?
The lumps were real, okay? I don't know why they were moving from match to match, but they were real.
Yeah, they were kind of like sizers, like in his head. Moving on, I want to talk about like, dude. Yes. Okay. So Mo the Fig God, I think he said something in the comments about re-releasing the Nitro stage, and this sort of made me think of this bad boy. So we initially, I guess, saw this attire with the WCW Nitro crowdfund stage. This was one of the figures that was coming with it, and for that whole piece, I feel like that stage was the piece, and then the figures were the add-ons. But it's so great to see these, attires kind of coming out and drizzling out now, now. So like, it talked my ears off. Are we gonna see maybe a Pastamania Hogan as well? Maybe a Scott Steiner in a singlet? What's the possibilities for elites here with these attires?
So I don't think Pastamania Hogan is going to happen, at least not anytime soon. A singlet Scott Steiner, sure, why not, right? Like, that version as an ultimate is what's off the table. Scott Steiner in a singlet is not off the table. So maybe we see that somewhere down the road, especially if this line keeps performing as amazingly as it has.
Damn right, Magic. You hear that?
I heard it.
Big Papa Pump Magic. I won't rest until you do one.
You Monday Night Wars, that's you. We're gonna have a Monday Night War, Magic, me and you, if you don't frickin'... No, I'm joking.
Friday.
And a tiger, and we need the tiger, Magic. I don't know how we afford that, but we need the tiger.
Thank you. It's gonna happen. Hit up Mike Tyson. I think he owns a couple tigers.
But
baby.
going back to that last one, that was like a unique
Absolutely.
triple team effort, right? Because Bill did the original design for it for the Ultimate, and then myself and the former Monday Night War designer, we reworked it as an elite. So those new boots too. That's something to notice that Dusty Rhodes also has. The jean tucks into the boot. It's not like a flat cut anymore. It actually has that boot cut at the front. So a nice little innovation there. But yeah,
articulates well around the ankle as well. That's cool.
Oh yeah, it's great. So once again, teamwork, great team, bringing this across the finish line.
And this duster as well. I mean, like, you're not gonna not release this duster. You're not gonna gatekeep this duster from me, guys. Come on, I already saw it. Bill, talk about. Was there, I guess, did you have a hand in this, right? Initially with the crowdfund, was there any changes that had to be made to this Elite figure that you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the parts, like the torso is obviously
Right.
an Elite torso as opposed to the original Ultimate. And I think there might, like, the boots might have have the toe articulation. I don't know if that was if that was on the original. I don't know if it's on this one. I'm going to assume
That was
no.
removed.
That
I think
was
that was
okay.
removed. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the soft goods is, and that's the thing that I'm, most proud of the way that worked out. Just getting access to the original artwork, working with the artists to recreate it at a size that can be recreated on the fabric, and then again, I work at Mattel. We make Barbie, like we make the best soft goods in the industry. Just having access to just extremely talented people like that makes me look smarter than I am.
And I may
job than I am, and the fact that they can make a coat like this, and you see it on the figure, and it looks exactly like it did, back in the day when he showed up on Nitro.
And I may or may not have put on this duster.
You fit into these little toy ones? How'd that work?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know you were. I thought you were like 6 something, at least, Steve. But it sounds like you're like 3 foot flat.
That's
You
why
can
I'm
fit into
virtual
this.
all the time.
Yeah,
Ah, okay, makes sense.
it's all
the
forced
stilts.
perspective.
Yeah.
You go forced perspective, yeah, and the stilts at the Comic-Cons. Of course, dude, I agree with this. No, that's interesting. You guys like are working with the actual artists of this, and I think that's really interesting. I didn't know that. Like, talk to me a little bit about that. Like making a
Not the
connection
actual
there.
artist of the jacket, but the artist that
Right.
recreated the artwork.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Because the artwork they can't really just take a photo and scan it onto a jacket. The artwork has to be recreated
Right.
based off of the jacket, and I can't imagine the I can, because I've done it a few times, and it's
The research that goes into that.
yeah, it's very it's one of those things that's it's so much more difficult than it appears, and we have access to people that are so skilled at it.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the result. I mean, it's
Was this? Can I ask? Was this Dan?
I think so.
Shout out to Dan.
Shout out to Dan.
Way back when.
Oh, okay. Dan, the man.
He is a man.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, I want to talk about. I'm kind of breezing through some of these. Like, we could talk for Steve. I don't remember last time you were on. We were like 3 hours. That's not happening.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
That's
We
not...
aged several years. We had full-grown beards by the end of it.
I had to dye my hair after it. It was great. So like, there was a lot of wrinkles as well. Like, I had to get Botox, but let's not talk about that. So, dude, releasing out here. I was talking a little bit about it before with your Magic and you guys here as well. Jade Cargill, this was another quick one. I felt like along with the Tama Tonga and the Jacob Fatu, this was another really fast one. Talk a little bit about the designing this build. Did you have a hand in this? And also the rubber coat that's coming with this. I love the finish on it, the metallic sort of look. It looks completely like it looks made out of stone. It looks what I mean? It looks like it's been sculpted by a Greek god or something like that. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is that was actually a deco test sample. So I don't know if this is exactly gonna be the final look, but it was more just a test to see how if they molded it in sort of like a non-metallic silver and then brushed it with silver paint, if you could sort of recreate the appearance. When she debuted in WWE at the Royal Rumble with like a silver jacket, but then with like silver pieces of glass that look like reflective mirrors. Really amazing effect, and looked really cool. And my first thought was like, wow, that's cool. And then my second thought was like, so how are we going to recreate that on an action figure? But I think again, I work with amazingly talented people, and I think we figured it out. And yeah, I mean, obviously this is someone who has had a figure before, and the first figure, I remember it was awesome. And I was like, man, like the bar is high. So I got to make sure that now that it's my responsibility to work on Jade Cargill figures, I have a high standard to
Uphold.
do better than.
Right.
So hope
Yeah.
I had told Bill several times that this one pretty much really upset me really bad because how good it was. Like I was positive the first one was never going to be topped, and I'm like looking at this, I'm like, he did it.
Yeah, so Magic, like you having a hand and creating the first ever Jade Cargill figure to then, now this one's coming out from the Mattel line in the Elite line. Bill, was there any, did you have to reach out to Magic at all? Was there any like, ooh, you designed this, you had a hand in designing this, maybe I could get like a little tidbit here or something like that? Was there any talks like that?
No, but I was aware of what he had done before, and
Yeah,
I
cool.
did think it was great. And again, like it's I'm internally competitive. I want to make sure that I do stuff that's as good or better than
No half
what I've
measures,
seen
dude.
before. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's very difficult to do that because stuff that's that's been done before me has been how do you do better than 10 out of 10? You got to do also 10 out of 10 or better, and it's difficult. So it's a challenge. The first the quality of the first figure presented a very strong challenge, and then to find out that the person that designed that great figure likes the one that I worked on, it's very gratifying.
What a love fest.
Yeah.
Right.
Something kind of going unspoken is that Jade Cargill is like such a toyetic person. Like she's so like superhuman. Like her physique, everything about her is like over the top and larger than life. So having great figures representing that and being able to encompass all of that is really special. And this one is fantastic.
And she's a real life superhero who changes her gear all the time, and that's the thing here. Like it's not like Bill and Magic did the same look and like are competing with each other. Like this is a totally different look. So it's like they both stand on their own as great figures.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and Jade Cargill is so toyetic. Like, Magic, you were talking about her physique and just the gear that she's wearing, and she always switches up, Steve. Like, yeah, and it's a lot of there are like inspired, a lot of video game inspiration or whatever, media, pop culture inspiration for some of these attires. So I feel like that's very, very exciting to look out for when it comes to Jade figures. So I'm freaking excited about that. But I was actually, and I know you, Bill and Steve, I'm not sure about you, Magic, but maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I was in the damn building for Royal Rumble 2024. I don't know if you guys knew that. I was meant to be number 31. Something, The Rock came in.
It wasn't a 40-man. It wasn't a 40-man Rumble this year, bro.
It was a 31-man. That was the thing. And then The Rock came in and he said, and then I told Nick Storm to not come in at number 31. And then all that stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, Dwayne. Sorry, Dwayne. Call me. You have me on speed dial, I think. But all that segue to talk about this CM Punk figure, his first, I think, televised match in WWE in 10 years. And I was there, man. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I was absolutely singing, my lungs out when he came out and with his entrance and all that. And talk to me about making these sort of CM Punk figures. I know there's an MSG attire as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be a top picks or what wave this Elite is going to be as well. What lines are we seeing those CM Punk, the MSG, and this one? Is this like Elite 112, 113?
Maybe it's a regular Elite line. I don't remember what wave, but it'll be out in spring. And the MSG / Inglewood, what the heck is it called? I was there. The forum. CM Punk. Yeah. That one is going to be in top picks. And that top picks figure has the first newly tooled GTS hands. So you can pose them like this properly with the thumb in. Recreate what you see here, and then we'll leverage those hands going forward. I did see a question in the chat earlier, like when are we getting those hands? So yeah, it's already in the works and announced in that top picks CM Punk figure.
Oh hell yeah! And Bill, like going back and designing CM Punk, how I guess I can ask it like this, but what's the difference now creating CM Punk figures compared to over a decade ago?
He's more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, most of it's probably gonna be in the face deco, just because with the new DIJ processes. I mean, he's a very expressive person in his face. He's got the like an very intense facial features, and I think before when we were using different way to deco, we would get close to that. But now with the new way that we with the DIJ True Effects, like it really does look like, you know, a portrait, like just like it is his head, just shrunk down to, you know, that size when you see it. So that's when I compare the two. That's the biggest difference I see. I mean, honestly, the theming of the gear is very similar to, you know, 10 years ago, which I do appreciate, again, being, you know, from Chicago. I don't mind seeing the 4 stars across the trunks.
I mean, in this head scan as well, I mean, I think with the photo of the Mattel Creations as well, I think that was in hand at San Diego Comic-Con, and I think that has the same head sculpt. And, you know, seeing the photos, like, people actually take photos of that head scan in display, that looks crazy good. So I'm just a CM Punk fan. I need to get out of here, dude. I'm a mark. Let's move on. Here he goes.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. This, another speedy one. You guys, I think, Speedy Gonzalez is what they call you over there. No, this is crazy. This is insane to me.
I think he's banned,
Brother.
Speedy. Anyway, let's just keep going.
Well, hey, WWE has Speed now on X. Shout out. It's always
go.
going to be Twitter. Yeah, but this Ethan Page, again, you know, Magic, we were talking a little bit about, you know, prior works coming in as well. Maybe even Bill, talk about designing this, how speedy was. This is like maybe like 2 months ago he didn't even debut and he's already NXT champion.
I'm going to reveal something, expose us. We were friends before Magic came back to Mattel, and we were at the NXT show together in Las Vegas and talked to Ethan. And then Bill, take it away with how quick you worked on this.
Yeah, I mean, this was, I think this was underway even before that, because they got me reference of him the week he came back, which I think was like 2 weeks before this. And high profile names, you know, we're always trying to get new high profile names in the line. So we're like, yeah, we should probably put him in the lineup, you know, as soon as possible. Get to work on the head sculpt right away, and we wanted to have something ready to show before San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, this one is also like the new Bloodline. It's a little bit off, but yeah, I mean, when larger opportunities like this present themselves right away, you know, you get to work.
Yeah, and it's so cool because, as I mentioned, we spoke with him just a few weeks before getting this. What was that? June, yeah, a month before showing him this. So it was that quick, and knowing how eager to work with us he was, and an action figure guy, you know, it really helped. Not that we needed an incentivization, but really helped incentivize us to surprise him with this at Comic-Con.
He's a massive figure guy, and you know, he has, you know, he's the Jazz West figure. He has the big rubber guys figure, and there's going to be this figure coming out as well. I mean, it makes me so damn happy when, you know, figure guys get that love and praise represented in figure form. When can we start to see, you know, this Ethan Page start shipping out, and can we expect to see any accessories to come with this as well?
Yeah, it's a little ways off, and I don't know if we can reveal, you know, everything that's coming with it yet, because it's.
I can be patient.
Yeah, but it's I mean, I would say similar to what we said on the Jacob Fatu and the Tamatonga around that time frame.
Yeah. Okay, well, hell yeah, that makes me goddamn happy. Let's move on. Dude, there's so much to talk about. This is for one really, really cool to me. We were talking all about 3-packs, Maivia Legacy, Samoa Dynasty, Rhodes Dynasty, if we wanted to as well. Shout out to Pharaoh. Always shout out to Pharaoh. But in this evolution now, it isn't a mystery, dude. I think we found out it isn't a mystery because it's a damn 3-pack right here. We got Randy Orton, Batista, and Triple H. Triple H, that's so Australian of me. But do you guys, talk my ear off about instead of going the route of the suited figures, making it sculpted, what was the motive to making it cloth goods and making it separate here? And can we see that sort of going on in the future when it comes to suited figures?
There was a little bit of storytelling that we wanted to do at San Diego Comic-Con, and for one reason or another, it just didn't happen. Like, this was going to be the reveal on the first day, and then the second day was going to be, we were going to put the thumbs down and replace the Triple H with the angry head that comes with the 3-pack. And then the third day was going to be, Triple H, with all the clothes off, at least from the top, putting the hurting on Randy Orton. Because if you watch that whole segment, Triple H starts like fully dressed in the suit and tie and the sport coat. And by the end, he's completely bare chested, just wailing away on poor Randy Orton. And Batista, he's just watching the whole thing, smiling the whole time. So we were able to keep the Batista as is. But yeah, Orton and Triple H both have interchangeable heads with very different facial expressions. This is a really fun pack. Again, like the storytelling, a lot of WWE is visual storytelling, and then we could capture that just by changing expression on figures. You can get recreate that in a 3-pack like this.
And Bill's not lying when he said Batista looks happier and is smiling the whole time, because I just oversaw our ecom photo shoot for these, and I said you have to do these 3 moments: the thumbs up, the thumbs down, and then the beat down. And Batista just has that same look on his face the entire time. He looks very happy to be a part of this beat down on Randy.
He's just happy to be there, dude. Yeah, I love that.
You know what's missing? Missing? Huge flaw in this set, Bill. I hate to rain on everyone's parade. This set is lampless.
Yeah, I know. It got cut for cost. The soft goods, we came in right at budget. We had not a penny to spare for a lamp. So
our streak is over.
Next time he goes on Jimmy Fallon, he's gonna be complaining. He's gonna be like, "This 3-pack didn't come with a lamp. What's the deal with that?"
It'll come with 2 lamps. The next one will come with 2 lamps to make up for it.
Oh, compensation. I like that. Yes. Yeah, this pack is fantastic. Yeah, I can't talk more about it, dude. But another thing I can't talk more about, this is my definitive Hulk Hogan. I said it, I think, a couple weeks ago here on Figure Friday. I mean, I said I was born in 2001. I'm a small little boy, okay? I was born in 2001, so this is my sort of definitive growing up. This was what Hogan looked like to me when I turned 2001? On screen. Yeah, you heard me. What, Billiam?
Let's just keep going, guys.
Yeah, I like the sounds of that. I am a small little man. But look, this Hogan, like growing up around that time, like Ruthless Aggression era is when I grew up, right? And then I, which is so crazy to say. And then I went back and watched Attitude Era, Golden Era, New Gen, all this stuff. But this is growing up when I was watching Hogan, dude, which is crazy to say. And so this is one of my favorite probably releases, maybe reveals, I should say, from San Diego Comic-Con. This is my definitive Hogan. Talk a little bit about getting this Hogan out there, and it's with the Undisputed Championship as well. The newly sculpted weight belt mold, I believe that we're seeing, with some great paint deco on it as well, and some new knee pads with some deco. There's so much going on with this figure. Bill, Steve, Magic, even talk my ears off about this.
So this was definitely like a collaboration of what you just said of wanting to do the definitive version of this era of Hulk Hogan. And I think Bill and I both had ideas that we brought to the table and some specific things that we wanted included. But Bill, I mean, really what stands out to me, and these were Bill's ideas, were the 2 expressive head sculpts.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part as well. Yeah, because Hogan is obviously very expressive, and so he's someone that shows up in our line a lot. Like, how do you keep this fresh? But we never really had like the Hulk up face, and then the you. So when it came time to pick out like what heads do we put on this, it's like this would be a perfect opportunity to put those heads on on this figure, knowing that if you have previous Hogan figures as well, you could also use them on those figures for the same effect.
I mean, that's great to me. I love this to bits, and I mean, this is immediately when you said the Hulk up thing, and I looked at that head scan, I was like, okay, I can't wait to see Battle Story do a stop motion with this. And seriously, I think like with the hulking up and the U, it's gonna look fantastic. Battle Stories, you better you better be doing this. But yeah, this is fantastic. The unique head sculpts are so nice, and yeah, like you said, are you guys? Is this like, since you guys have these like head sculpts tooled, could we see these on other Hogans from maybe other eras? Do they work like that? Do they work for other eras? What do you guys think of that?
I would only really reserve it to this era because he didn't really do this that much when he was NWO. Maybe that
it was kind of like
teeth, I don't know.
Kind of like this.
Yeah. And then when you go early 90s and 80s, like he looked a lot younger. So yeah. I would think maybe it's worth revisiting these expressions on a younger head sculpt if the time comes.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, Bill, you were saying, how do we keep making these Hogans fresh? I mean, yeah, that's one way I'm thinking right there. As a fan, that I'd want another Hogan figure from the 80s or the 90s or whatever the case. Like, oh yeah, okay, definitely, like, less wrinkled, these expression head scans. Absolutely, that's how you get me.
Maybe WCW, especially when he returned to the red and yellow after the NWO run in the the final years of Nitro. Anyway, yeah, younger Hogan needs new heads.
We need a modern Hogan with Nick Storm and Bill singing karaoke next to him at the beach house.
Right. And Bill no selling the headshots from Hogan.
So I was just gonna bring this up, and I'm so glad I wasn't the one to do it, Magic. Thank you. It makes me seem a little less egotistical, but not the case. But Bill, I want to talk about we have a little bit in common. We haven't met great, for a great amount per se, but I feel like we have a lot in common. We both have sang karaoke in front of this man that we see in front of us, Hulk Hogan.
Do you Where did you do it?
Pardon, where did I do it?
Yeah.
I did it, I think it was the Clearwater Hangout, the Hogan's Hangout. Yeah.
Royal Rumble trip, right?
Yep. So I had a trip to Royal Rumble. I went to Florida. I saw some family as well, which was cool, which was, obviously it was great that it lined up. And then here I am in front of Hulk Hogan. This is a day after I land in America. So I'm still trying to get used to living and existing. And I'm singing Separate Ways by Journey in front of this man. What song did you sing, Bill?
I did Chandelier by Sia.
Which was retired, so it was so important to do karaoke with Hulk that you broke it out of retirement, didn't you?
I wanted to retire it after that point because it's like it's not going to be. It was kind of like my go-to karaoke song because it's impossible to sing. So
yeah, like RUB Figs right here is saying you actually sung well too.
He's lying. I would know. It was bad. But it's a fun song to sing because it's freaking impossible to sing unless you're Sia.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently, like at some point during the singing, I felt like something was happening to my head, but I was like concentrating, like trying to keep my place so hard that I kind of like no-sold it. And then I look back and watch the video. It's like Hulk Hogan giving, I guess he's giving me a noogie or something. I'm just like looking back, I'm like, did I no-sell Hulk Hogan? Like,
wow.
What galaxy, like how growing up as a little kid, watching, one of my first exposures to wrestling was Saturday Night's Main Event, Hulk Hogan world champion. It's like this is biggest star of the show. It's like, how would my life ever get to a point where at some point like Hulk Hogan would be performing a wrestling move on me to begin with, and then I would not sell it.
You gave him a taste of his own medicine, pal.
I guess so. I mean, it's strange to think about now. Just like that's bizarre.
He walked away, and I heard him like whispering, "Now I know how it feels."
All like crushed inside. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that works for me, brother. Yeah, sort of thing. That was fantastic. Yeah, I had similar feelings. How the hell am I here right now? I think I even did "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen another week. Like I think I stayed there for 3 weeks, like in Florida, and so I went back every Monday. And I think I did like "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. I handed the mic to him. He sang a little bit. People were saying I was politicking, and that's why I won. Okay, but yeah.
Did you win a belt? Did you win a belt?
I didn't win a belt, but I did sign it. And recently, just the other day, I got an email saying the tournament, the finals are up. If you and I'm like, I'm not spending another like $3,500 for a plane ticket just for a little karaoke. I won't lie.
I didn't make the playoffs.
You didn't make the playoffs.
No.
Well, hey, you can. You know what? You can have.
There were
my
actually like
playoff.
really talented singers that night, so I'm like, I'm not making these playoffs.
Yeah,
Pressure
those are the
was off.
worst kind of nights, right? But look, if you want to put on those shades, Bill, and just be Nick Storm, you have free reign. You can
Okay,
have my karaoke playoff, if you will. I mean,
But right now,
yeah,
Well,
right.
well,
No, I'm joking.
no, I need the lyrics in front of me and the backing music.
This is true. But before we do some karaoke, there's a little bit more I want to touch on a little bit. And that's talking about this Sandman, the Elite 111 Sandman on the left, and the new Hardcore Hack, I believe, coming out as well.
What is he?
Hardcore Hack?
Hardcore, right? That's not what you said, but nice correction.
Thank you. I mean, look, I'm gonna stop drinking coffee. I think
Bleep that out when you upload it to YouTube.
there's a lot I need to do. There's a lot of editing I need to go back with. No, just kidding. But I want to talk about this barbed wire. So, what was the talks about getting barbed wire, and what do you guys think is the telltale sign of the possibility of getting barbed wires in Elite lines or in the Mattel WWE line, I should say?
I think
Easier now.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be included with the figure. I just think it.
You know what you did? I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think you showed them that it was based on that CD cover, and,
Yeah, I think
and they
that
were like,
helped
okay,
cause.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, it's accurate as well.
They're great partners over at WWE. We have conversations, and if there's something where understandably maybe there's a little bit of resistance, but something still makes sense, we still might be able to come to a great outcome like we did with these two figures.
Yeah, that's so fair. I mean, and the barbed wire, can we start to see more sort of I'd like to say hardcore weapons? Could we start to see more sort of like maybe in the pipeline, maybe like if I start lifting off stuff, I won't stop. Maybe like a light tube or something like that. A door.
I don't know if a light tube has ever been used in WWE.
It's in the 2K game, so whatever. Just steal from the 2K game again.
Yeah, I mean, a door would be more likely than a light tube. Just I think from a hypothetical standpoint.
What about
But,
I think if there's significant moments on TV, we can have those conversations, right? But I don't know that, being the, maybe more family friendly line that we would push the boundaries of things that don't exist in the real WWE world. Man,
I need to stop watching Independence, I think.
I don't even know if light bulbs were used in ECW, to be honest with you. I can't really think of any instances back then of that happening. So it is a little bit of a stretch for us. Yeah, a door.
I'd take a door, yeah.
100 tables for Tommy Dreamer to get tossed through.
Oh, yeah.
Off
Maybe
a
a scaffolding.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. We can get a scaffolding as well. I like the cut of your jib. I want to talk a little bit before we get out of here. One more thing, and then I want to bring it to the chat because you guys have been incredible. I mean, shout outs to you guys. Just still talking away. I've never had a thing where I just can't, see all the messages in the chat, and you guys are just nuts. Okay, I just want to say you guys are crazy. But Bill, this is I guess to you as well. I got a lot of questions for you, Bill. You've been on the list for years. Okay, can you blame me?
I did not. Yeah, you did put out a picture of a list, and my name was at the top, that's unbelievably, like, the fact that like my name would be the top of anyone's list is again, like, it's really, I actually found that really flattering, so thank you very much for having me on the show.
Dude, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Of course. Like you, that was one of the names that was on there for a few years now, and so I still can't believe it all. But for that all being said, a huge ramble tangent being said, I want to talk about Jamie from 90 Day Fiancé UK, dude. Are you kidding me? This guy's insane. He's awesome. This guy is the coolest dude. Nah. Talk a little bit about this. I mean, Dude, no, he might be. I haven't met him. But look, there's an autograph of Bill McKinnon. You have an autograph right there. It's on 90 Day Fiancé. Jamie, dude, this guy's a freaking. I love him to bits.
This was honestly like finding out this happened was one of the greatest moments of my life. Just because it's just so freaking surreal. Like the fact that a friend of mine who works at Ringside like sent me this image, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that. Like that's that signing sheet I did.
Right.
And I signed it, and it's like it's part of his, like, obviously he has a whole wall of wrestling memorabilia, and like he has one autograph, and it's me.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
It is absolutely insane to me. Like, I remember, because I'm a big 90 Day Fiancé guy. I think reality TV is one of my guilty pleasures, right? So it's like, I love all these types of shows. I actually have a clip for the people who might not know in the chat. I actually have a clip of, from the show, if you guys wanted to check it out. Here it is, Jamie from 90 Day Fiancé.
I collect wrestling figures. Sometimes I keep them mock, which is mint on cards, so it's in the box. When I buy the wrestling figures, I check to make sure there's no damage to boxes. If there's any damage, it will go down in value. I've got about 2,000 figures, could be more, but I would say 2,000. Kathleen has not seen my room. When I'm video calling her, I'm making sure that I'm not facing the figure so she doesn't see.
That is a great technique. I did the same thing with my girlfriend, and it works just fine. Just don't show your figures. No, but seeing that clip as well, Magic. You're laughing. This is I love that guy.
He's awesome.
He's this is so cool. Just like this intertwining. Yeah, shout out to Jamie. Just this intertwining of worlds. Give me your thoughts and on all this and how you actually came to find out about it, I guess.
A friend of mine works at Ringside Collectibles, was watching this and saw this and sent me the screen cap, and just my mind was blown. And then I actually posted this and I tagged Jamie, and he sent me like the nicest message back on Instagram. So now we're Instagram buddies, which is great because it's like, again, like part of my job is just because of my job and what I've done. It's like I've made friends all over the world.
Yeah,
like I could go to foreign countries and people I could say like, hey, I'm coming, and we can like meet up and, grab a beer or something, or, do a wrestling show. But yeah, I mean, that's national TV, it's streaming in the UK. I mean, and my autograph picture. I mean, again, it's like, how does life work out where that happens?
Yeah. And especially, I mean, the bed where it lifts up and it has all the figures underneath it, man. This is like
I was
so relatable.
I was hoping there would be like some a part of the show where Jamie brings in Kathleen to see the collection, and her head is turned by the drawing of the handsome man on the wall. But I don't think that scene happened.
Yeah, no, that was an outtake, I believe. Yeah,
maybe it was a cut scene.
Yeah, it's like. That's so true. But yeah, Steve, I'm not sure if you saw this of Jamie or the clip I just showed as well. But what are your thoughts on stuff like this? I don't think because right, Bill, I'm tangenting. But Bill, this was like an event in the UK, right? Steve, I don't know if you have like gone to those events. I think it was like a wrestling collector shop or something like that from memory.
Wrestling Shop UK.
Wrestling Shop UK, sorry.
In the UK, and I was very fortunate to be a guest at them. And I think this one was actually last year, right around, it was sort of tied into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that was held in London at the time. So
right.
I was able to go, represent Mattel for that event and do some sneak previews of stuff we were going to show at San Diego Comic-Con, because it was like a little week before.
Right.
And Yeah, I was signing these autograph sheets that were prepared by the wrestling shop. They still have a lot of them. Every time I go back, they have a lot of them. So I try to sneak a few with me every time I go. Just put them back in my suitcase and sign them for coworkers and pretend I'm a big shot.
But shout out to Richard, who's the owner of Wrestling Shop UK. It's a great site. They are the UK and European exclusive home to WWE superstars. So he did try to bring me out as well, but it didn't work out. But he had Bill there, and Bill, he represented in the best way possible, as he always does. But I do think that this 90 Day Fiance guy missed out on a great opportunity. He should have said to her, if you stick with me, you can see this picture every single day.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pass that up. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, and I don't know if that's like right above his bed as well. I mean, just look up, just be like,
wake up to that.
Yeah.
It could be her side of the bed.
Yeah, if you guys, if you're like, oh, yeah, my brain can't go to sleep, just look at Bill MIEKINA. It's like everything's okay, and then you sleep calmly. Yeah, knock you right out, dude. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I want to throw it to some people in the chat real quick, because we got a lot of great questions, and then I want to get you guys out of here. I don't want to keep you guys for any longer. But yeah, this has been such a fun time. I want to thank you guys again. But we do have a lot of questions, and I do want to get to some of them. But here we go from Justin Bates, Steve/Bill, and also I guess Magic, not you. No, I'm joking. So you as well, Magic. With WrestleMania 40 Cody being inevitable as a release, could you pull off that figure in a regular Ultimate Edition line, or would it have to be like an Ultimate exclusive instead, like a Mattel Creations or whatnot?
I think this is a great question for Magic. How would you fantasy book WrestleMania 40 night? Which night? Night 2? WrestleMania night 2. How would you fantasy book it into the line?
Fantasy book WrestleMania 40?
Cody into the line.
I'm confused by this question now, because he's saying it's being inevitable. I'm so confused.
So he thinks it's coming, right? It's guaranteed to come. And he's asking where it would go. Whether that's an Ultimate exclusive or Ultimate Edition mainline or something else maybe. So how would you fantasy book it as a perfect execution?
Well, going back to what we were talking about with Bill earlier about storytelling and how many more expressions you get just out of Ultimates, I think there's such a great story to tell there with the accessory of the championship, the faces, like all the crying, the emotion, the screaming, the excitement, jubilation, and then as well as the entrance gear and everything great that he wore that night. I think Ultimate is obviously the best place for it, for that specific execution.
There you have it, folks.
There it is. And guess what? Stephen Bill didn't even answer it. Justin, how do you feel?
See what I did there?
Yeah, I love that. But also, like, and then I have a little cheeky question for Bill when it comes to that. We were talking about crying head scans and sort of more expressive sort of stuff like that. We saw on the Kurt Angle, on the new HBK, I said H again. Shawn Michaels. Yeah, look, get me out of here. Shawn Michaels exclusive. Could we, for a Cody Rhodes, winning the title, is that like maybe a little sneak peek? I feel like that'd be a perfect little slot for it.
Well, I am the self-proclaimed best designer of crying wrestling action figures ever. A very small piece of land, but I'm going to claim it. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that is it's always possible.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, that makes me.
Can I make a claim? Can I make a claim? Best co-designer of a Googa figure of all time.
Take it.
I think you need like Bill MIEKINA, and then underneath it has like a lower third that says that, like Steve, like you have, right? Yeah.
Really tiny and a whisper, and Steve.
Yeah, it's in the brackets or something. Well, yeah. Diet Pizza, what's up? Staying up late here in the UK. Shout out to all the Brits watching, dude. If you're staying up in the UK, shout out to all the international people. This is like two hemispheres meeting for this whole stream. So shout out.
It's a global event.
Are you sure? Yes, this is a global event. Oh my god, that's a great way to put it. Are you sure that's Magic and not Seth Rollins? I haven't checked. I might have to see your ID after the fact, because man, Seth Rollins is a great worker. You could work me, pal. Yeah.
This is why the injury angle occurred, to keep him off the road to appear on your show.
Wow. Okay, well, look, Thank you for being injured. Right? Yeah? Is that okay? Anyway, I couldn't top you. I couldn't top. That was too funny. Any hints on how the next Elite packaging could be looking? So this is a great question from Louise. Is the window getting smaller or bigger, or just any other maybe little cheeky hints on the next Elite packaging? What do you guys think?
Not there yet. Don't know, honestly.
Right. Completely fair.
It'll be great.
Yeah,
Window
it'll be
smaller. Window smaller. I sure hope not. I don't want that to happen. So I can say that I think for the three of us, we will vote for not doing a smaller window.
It'll just be a square right above the head with the heat stamped recyclable logo over it.
There you go.
like a mask encasing, you know, it's just like that, like a little like square for the head. I love it. Has any improvements? Okay, so this is a great question as well. Are you guys working on it still? Are there any improvements maybe that's being made on the Cody Rhodes weight belt so it fits properly? I know some cases have like maybe it fits too snug or a little too loose. Has there been any like little fixes here and there? And when it comes to like new items like that, how much are you guys fixing it as you go on in the process?
I mean, there's multiple stages to the process. And with that weight belt, you know, I think there was some confusion over in Asia over what side the deco goes on and whatnot. So, you know, Bill and I are kind of working through that now with other Cody figures, and, you know, with Magic on board, we'll get it right. I don't know, you know, when that exactly would hit, but, you know, we're trying to finesse that a little bit with the weight belt situation.
Hell
Look at all my weight belt experience coming in now. It's nice.
Exactly, dude. Okay, wow. I didn't even think of that. Think about all the weight belt experience that Magic almost is bringing. Okay, I like this.
That's why we brought him back.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the weight belts, actually. Cameron Bell. This is a question for all three of my esteemed panel, okay? Cameron Bell asks, who is one person that each of you guys would want to make figures of if they had a Legend deal? So I don't know if this is a hypothetical, they're not signed to a Legends deal, or if they are, or whatever the case, but if you guys had one person in mind, just any Legend maybe, who would it be that you guys could just give me a figure?
Well, I said Luna before, so... but since this is a new question, I can say somebody else. How about Haku?
Yes, yeah.
We say Al Snow. Al Snow with the head.
I would probably. There's two that I would really want to do. I don't know what the legalities of it are. They're probably impossibilities just because of various reasons. But WCW Psychosis and La Parka. I always love those. I mean, even if they were awesome wrestlers, but then their outfits were always like just awesome visuals. I was like, when I look at them, it's like, why, why isn't there like an American style action figure of these characters? And
those looks like you're switching through the channels and you get caught up by like a La Parka or whatever the case, like a Psychosis, right? Just from their attire alone. And I think those are so toyetic. Great question, Cameron. But even better question from Nick Storm, I'll be honest. D. Ross 2, Jesse Ventura, is he signed? So this is a thing, maybe, I don't know if he's signed or not, maybe he's, who knows? I'm Nick Storm, I don't really know anything about that. But I want to ask, are you guys excited to maybe work on Jesse Ventura figures? He's in the sphere of WWE again. There's a great like little clip of Jesse Ventura and CM Punk like having a little back and forth convo. I thought that was cool. But there's so many looks for Jesse Ventura that I can think of off the top of my head.
Jesse Ventura is someone where the minute we find out that he is officially signed, like we get to work that day. So
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Coliseum collection. That's like the LJN.
Yeah, he fits a lot of ranges that we're working on right now.
I mean, he has looks from I don't know that we go to the 70s, but if you wanted to, 70s through Attitude Era with that referee appearance at SummerSlam that you could tap into, and then there was a guest appearance on Raw where he hit the announce booth with the former owner once again. So Jesse really ran the gamut of eras of WWE. So much to pull from, and the looks are all amazing and unique and different. Really excited if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of Mattel Creations Elite 2-packs. If I can get an Elite 2-pack with standalone unique packaging, I would love a Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura at a commentary booth. I think that would, like, at one of the early WrestleManias.
Only if there's like only if there's a button that has the clip of Jesse accusing of Gorilla Monsoon eating another hot dog while commentating WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, you're eating another hot dog, Monsoon. I could smell it. I love it. That is fantastic stuff. That is one of my favorite commentary teams right there. We got a question from Mo the Fig God, and I guess I can kind of paraphrase this. Are there any maybe slots? I know, Steve, I asked you about this a lot, but are there any chances maybe that we could re-release this crowdfund Nitro stage, but maybe at like a smaller scale?
Well, to be re-released, it would have had to be released in the first place. But if Mo plops down that credit card and commits to 5,000 units, maybe we can make this a reality.
Yeah, Mo, you hear him? I'll go halvesies on those units. I'll go halvesies with you. We got another question here. Oh, great question. Fig Foundation here. How you doing, man? Ringside has been sold out of the Vault Punk for a few weeks. Will folks get another chance to get that Punk?
I don't know. I haven't actually talked to John about it, to be honest with you. Obviously Comic-Con just happened. It's been wild ever since Comic-Con as well. So I'll talk to him, next time we have a meeting, and we'll see what needs to be done.
Hell yeah. Got a little cheeky question from 3XR Studio. How you doing, Adam? Shout out, if you guys have missed it, check out episode 39 of Figure Friday. We had 3XR Studio in the studio. And we have a question here. This is a great question. I don't know how I didn't think of it, because this is fantastic and I'm awesome, right? No. Are the heads sculpted rather than scanned then in order to do it quickly when it comes to Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu? Instead of scanning these guys, sitting them down with the machines, and as we've seen from the, I guess, technology, I'm not sure how much it's changed over the years, but do you guys freehand it when it is a talent that's like,
every sculpt since COVID has been freehand, because in COVID we couldn't do any scanning.
Wow, yeah, really?
So it's all been done with photos.
We got a couple. We had a couple scanning sessions. Not a lot. Very minimal. Very minimal. But yeah, Bill's right. It's been predominantly, our great sculpting partners.
That like bewilders me, because I think the last 4 or 5 years have been the best head scans from Mattel, right?
Oh, best in the business sculptors, yeah.
And some of that also, I think, is also just the implementation of the DIJ and getting better at applying it. And some of that is me getting better at my job, just figuring out, like, taking the original DIJ file and seeing like what changes you need to do from the artwork to make sure that when it's applied to the figure, that stuff is coming out at the correct color, the correct resolution, making sure that stuff aligns properly. I think that's, because I think our head sculpts were always good before, but sometimes, using a simpler way of applying the deco to the face, it didn't sometimes accentuate the sculpt details as much as it could have. And now both parts are kind of working in tandem to really recreate the heads as they appear on TV. Very true to life.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, that's still like bewildering me a little bit. that it's all freehand.
Yeah.
You guys are crazy. You guys are nuts.
There has been some scanning since COVID. It's been a lot. It was scaled back significantly, obviously, due to COVID.
Of course.
I was gonna say, even with the scanning though, Nick, a lot of it's like still artists going in there and tweaking it and still doing a lot of sculpt work on top of the scans to get them right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right.
No matter what.
Yeah. I'm learning, dude. I don't know if you knew this, guys, but I don't know a lot.
You're only 2001. It's not your fault.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're so right. I was born in 2001. I'm still learning. There we go. Bill just shakes his head. D. Friedman, dude. Shout out to Dan the man. DDP and Lepaka gear. And then he says DDP and Psychosis gear. I love this workaround.
I love his idea for workarounds. I'm not sure if I think there's other reasons that might be off the table for now. But I do appreciate the creative thinking involved in problem solving.
Shout out to Dan. I want to get a question here from Diet Pizza. Will the Warrior Shango Ultimate boxes be regular size or slightly bigger like the previous Amazon exclusive Taker / Googa set?
As far as I know, they're the same as standard Ultimate Edition boxes. The reason that the Gobbledygooker set was larger was because the egg. And then I think the packaging engineers decided to just make those Ultimate boxes a little bit bigger to fill out the box. So I don't see any reason why Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango would have the larger UE boxes, but I don't know. I don't have it in front of me to measure, so.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I've got a question here from my notes that I kind of wanted to ask, because we've seen a lot of crossovers with TMNT as of late, I should say, and Mattel has a lot more licenses as well. What are some dream crossovers that each of you would be down to see Mattel superstars, WWE superstars be involved with, like a TMNT? What sort of, maybe like a Barbie or something like that from Mattel, or Hot Wheels, or whatever the case?
I mean, we did Masters of the WWE Universe, which was definitely a dream project for a lot of us. I don't know about Inside Mattel. We have Barney. You want to do a WWE Barney mashup?
Yeah. What dino characters do we have? Any prehistoric guys?
Only one I'm thinking is somewhere else.
Yeah.
I personally, like, I would probably, I have no idea how the product would actually turn out, but the challenge of like a WWE Barbie integration, just trying to figure out like what would it be and what would it look like that sounds like it would be at least be interesting to work on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be anything that anyone would be interested in buying when it comes out, but I just think from a design challenge, that would be like, if that was put in front of me, like, you got to figure out how to make that happen. I wouldn't mind taking a crack at that.
Yeah, we did do the Superstars dolls, but I think a real deal Barbie would be next level for a collab.
Or somehow working
Tiffany
the
Stratton would
WWE
be
Barbie
sick.
design cues into that were sort of themed around our 7-inch figure. It would be
Merman John Cena.
Well, that one, yeah.
Dude, come on now.
That would be a little easier than others.
Let's do it. Right? Let's do it. Get Will Ferrell on the phone. Let's do it. Okay. Anyway, more questions from the chat. Joe M, is the translucent main event Cena the chase figure? And I also have another a question with this, and I want to say, like, whose idea was that see-through Cena, and what did that meeting look like when you guys sat down and kind of discussed talking, or I guess this project?
It might have been me. I don't know. Like, we collaborate so much, like, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, whose idea it was. Someone on the team was paying attention to everything, right? Like, You Can't See Me and memes and fan requests and everything. So it made sense for a really long time. And the main event team, we worked it out and made it happen. So it made sense, right? And it's a cool figure. Is it the chase? It's supposed to be the excuse me. It's supposed to be the standard edition, but I know that people are finding the alternate version in greater numbers than the clear version right now. So I don't know how that pans out. If with the full run of figures that clear version becomes more prevalent or not. But at least on paper and our communications to our partners overseas, the clear version was supposed to be the standard version. I hope that clarifies it, at least a little bit.
You hear that, Joe? Good. I don't know why I had to get so freaking aggressive there, but I want to thank everyone for the chat. Dude, I can't get to every question, and I wish I really could. I wish we had like 24 hours, and we could just read the chat. But why would anyone want to do that? But I want to show you guys, actually, because we have someone who's worked on it and another person who's worked on it as well. And this, for one, I think, for me, is going to be one of the biggest dream matches I'm going to have till I perish, probably, until I'm in the grave when it's all said and done. This is going to be one of the biggest dream matches, and it's so great that these are releasing side by side and in the same sort of family a little bit when it comes to articulation. And I want
What? He just hang up.
Uh-oh. Is it us? A three-way dream match between the three of us?
He's giving us his show. He's gone.
No.
what the
It's our
hell?
show now.
Who? Guys, stop kicking me out of here. There we go. Thank goodness we did it. We finally freaking did it. So, the Undertaker, Amazon, no Amazon exclusive. What am I talking? Get me out of here. Target exclusive Legends Ultimate Edition Undertaker. This is probably one of my favorite. Probably gonna be like a what should I say? Figure of the year contender, I believe. And next to this, Stinger, that Magic. I don't know if you had like much a hand on, but. I think it's really, really cool that you both are working tandem together on the same design team when there are, I guess, like this dream match right here in figure form, and we can create it here. So I think that's really, really cool. What do you guys, what's your take on it, I guess?
I personally love stuff like this. Like I love that if there's stuff that I can't work on it, that there's another company that's able to work on it and make phenomenal product.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm not trying to pry much out of you guys, but, I just putting over these figures because I love them to bits. And this is, if I could be financially in debt to any hobby, it would be this one. And I'm going to, with that being said, I think we've done a 2-hour Figure Friday, dude. This has been, I think, the biggest Figure Friday episode ever! This has been the biggest Figure Friday ever. The Mattel team, thank you guys for stopping by. The designers, Steve, freaking Bill, freaking Magic. Steve, you're not even a designer. You're the mastermind behind Ultimate Editions, remember?
I'm a designing meddler.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, look, I'm a meddler as well, but I meddle with people's time, obviously, as this episode has concluded. But thank you guys again for stopping by. Bill, Magic, Steve, roll out the red carpet for yourselves. Where can the people find you guys? And I guess what people have that you guys have cooking, I guess, that people can look forward to soon. I don't know.
Bill, what are your handles?
I'm Bill MIEKINA on Instagram. That's about it.
Check out Bill at a Ringside Fest near you or virtually soon.
Or at a UK near you.
Let's hope so. Wouldn't mind
Magic.
going back.
I'm just on Instagram. It's magic.olmos. Yeah, find me there. Come yell at me or
Damn
something.
right you can.
Action Figure Attack on Instagram, Action Fig Attack, most other platforms, whatever, X, Twitter. What are the other ones? Not Snapchat.
MySpace.
Maybe Snapchat. I don't know. All the other ones, Action Fig Attack. But yeah, we'll see you hopefully at a Ringside Fest, maybe. I hope if there is one. And then after that, WrestleMania in Vegas, baby.
Let's do it. And before we get out of here again, I want to thank, the people watching again, because I'm a pandering, a-hole. But also, I want to thank Steve, Bill, and Magic for hopping in. I can't believe, like, if I was to tell myself maybe like 10 years ago that I could like interview the people that work on these figures that I love like so dearly, and how historic in my like collecting that you guys have been, and how pivotal, I just want to say like a huge thank you from me, and I'm sure every other collector that collects WWE product out there or wrestling figure products. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for having us.
We really do it for you guys, so thank you.
Oh, well, there we go, guys. And with that being said, I'm going to get the frick out of here. And Magic Holmos is putting on, he's going to get like 10 pairs.
What,
Look
couple
at this.
glasses, what does it mean?
2 hours, baby. The second hour comes from the double glasses. But With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'm at Nick Storm Review everywhere you gosh darn can. The Australian icon, the only one. Just kidding, man. Not to be the only one, but the only one. And I'll see you when I'm freaking looking at you next. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy this stream? Well, good, because after this stream ends, make sure to go onto my channel and binge watch every single one of my videos, because they're guaranteed a good chuckle or two. Thanks so much for watching.